you have a certain amount of optimism to do this job. But the good thing is, the farming community in itself is terrific, really. Well, I'm John Small, and we're here at Warren Farm. It's an upland farm, roughly 950 feet above sea level, an easy working farm comparatively, and it's what we call a family farm. The family's been here since 1945. I can trace the family history back to the 1760s. My grandfather was farming during the Depression, which was difficult times, but made it easy for him because he had a large family, mostly sons, and the opportunity to take on farmers that literally just were not wanted. Some of the farms around here were empty for 2 or 3 years. His policy was he didn't really help his sons to start at all. They were expected to start on their own. He had started off with, as he would say, half a crown in a matchbox. They all worked for no wages. My father broke away from the family when he was 24. He then had the opportunity in 1945 to rent this farm, which he did. My brother and I really took on the farming side of it at a very early age, missing a lot of school time. We both left when we were 14 years old and were more or less running the farm at that time. For us, the farming year starts in September, when the lambs are weaned and we're sorting out what sort of which sheep we're going to keep, sort of rams we're going to use, and so on. You've then got the winter ahead of you. Winter is probably my worst time. It's now usually wet. Sheep don't like it wet. Spring comes, things start to look a bit better, and we lamb comparatively late. We lamb in May. May is my favourite time. I do like lambing the sheep. I don't know why. It's long hours. I start looking at them at 5 and I don't usually finish before 10. And then you have really the uncertainty. Is it going to be a good harvest time, haymaking time? Are the lambs going to go on and do well? It's that not knowing which I really like. I would say it's much more difficult to start farming now than it was then. It does require so much more capital. A fleece then would have been around about £4, and would actually buy a new forcing tractor would take 130 fleeces. I see the current hill price now is down to 5p a kilo, so it would take several thousand sheep to buy a tractor now. So it was much easier to get going and expand at that time if you could find the capital to do it. Worst winter was 1963. That went on for 3 months. We were actually snowed in. The snow came the day after Boxing Day, and the council cleared the road in March the 18th. We fed the sheep with sledge, horse's sledge, of course. The procedure was to cut the barbed wire around the wall, drag the sledge up over, horses stumble over the wall, and we managed to get round and get it done. At that time, farm work was far more physical than it is now, so it was hard work. Now you have the modern machinery. Everyone still works at long hours. We worked long hours then, they work long hours now. But they've got a heated cab. We had an open tractor, or as I say, the horse. One horse we had been trained to work the strawberry fields in Cheddar, so it'd go up and down the roads without stepping on the plants. We found this one ideal for tending hay because you put him going around the outside the field and leave him to it, and he'd stop when he got to the middle. So he'd 40-acre field, he'd do one in about 3.5, 4 hours. So in a remarkable way, it was quite efficient. Who would have thought of GPS positioning and all that sort of thing? It just, we thought it was amazing when they put a cab on a tractor. Farming was, although we didn't realise at the time, comparatively easy then. The opportunities were there, but you needed the capital to get going. Fortunately, at that time, we had a very good local bank manager. Started buying suckler cows from Bob and Moore in Cornwall, and arranged an annual sale, which we had on the farm here. It became obvious that there was going to be a difficulty getting the money from the sale. At that time, the money crisis was obviously hit the auctioneers as well. The base rate went up to 18%. Had borrowed a load of money to buy the cattle and the sheep, and the money wasn't forthcoming. It did eventually, the bank took them over, and we got our money in April, but it was a difficult time. It meant a lot of outside work, lorry driving, mostly at night and weekends. But we got through it, and they say whatever hits you makes you stronger, doesn't it, I suppose. I think for anyone starting farming now, you've got to really forget the tradition and think of the new. Yes, you've got to have a big wodge of optimism, really, because things will go wrong. I mean, you'll have good years, you'll have bad years. Take advantage of the present fashion for land improvement through animals. Get a share partnership arrangement with someone in Wiltshire, Hampshire or Oxford, that area, and hope for the best. That's all farming's ever been. One of the biggest problems with family farms is actually the future, succession. How is it going to work? I am a great believer in being open. All parties who are involved know where they are and what my wishes are and what's going to happen. What I see often happen is it's all left, you all put it off to another day. Suddenly it becomes necessary. Nobody knows where they are, no one trusts one another, and it all goes pear-shaped, as I say. Obviously, I have to make everyone happy, and the easiest way was really to sit them all down together and work out a plan between us, which we have done. I'm hoping that things will work out and it'll be a comparatively seamless transition. Talking about the Farmers Weekly, it's always been part of my life. Sunday evenings we would go out to my uncle's place and swap magazines. What is now 60 years of farming, I think the important thing is don't expect too much, you won't get it. Try to be optimistic. Just try to enjoy the life you're doing as at the moment. Yeah. Get around. That's all I can say.